enter the room with a lion confidence, because now on 25th May, it is your confidence which is going to take you forward. So now this is a time when you just have to read upon those bullet points and try to take forward revision and consolidation. So revision and consolidation therefore has to be the key. Try to figure out and take forward locations, because that makes your idea comprehensive also, and mapping also side by side you are able to take forward. So these are few of the ways in which you can amalgamate your static as well as some dynamic portion. युद्ध ही तो वीर का प्रमाण है, जो लड़ सका वही तो महान है.
Hello everyone. Today I am joined by Dr. Shruti Joshi Ma'am, who will be highlighting some of the key important areas to prepare before the prelims of 2025. In today's discussion, Ma'am will also be highlighting some of the high-yielding areas from polity and international relation. Ma'am, welcome to the discussion.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ma'am, as there are hardly few days before the prelims exam, a lot of students have stress and anxiety about this exam. So according to you, what should be the smart approach to handle this period?
Okay, sir. So now when only 10 days are left for the prelims to come up, strategically, what should be our approach? The students, first of all, needs to concentrate only and only on available sources, something which they have read for past 1 year. This means unfamiliar sources they should never go for. That has to be the first important idea. Second, students should never run after multiple sources. There is no point taking forward new sources which you are not at all familiar with, and of course not multiple sources as well. Third, I am so sure that students have of course taken forward an approach of creating bullet points. So now this is a time when you just have to read upon those bullet points and try to take forward revision and consolidation. So revision and consolidation therefore has to be the key. Also, you should continuously take forward these 10 days not only for revision and consolidation, but also I'm so sure the previous year's questions they might have gone through. If not, they should definitely go forward for that, and multiple choice questions. So MCQs also needs to be a very important strategy. So mock test, of course, they should keep continuing. PYQs, they should always take forward. And last but not the least, continue taking forward revision and consolidation.
Okay, ma'am. So revision and consolidation are the key here. So ma'am, taking the subject-specific approach now, polity is one of the most important pillars of this exam. Every year we see that there are more than 10 to 12 questions which keep coming from polity. And in fact, the beauty of this paper is that it is highly predictable in nature. If you have studied it from the static sources, you are likely to attempt it. So in this case, ma'am, according to you, what are some of the areas that aspirant must go for when it comes to polity?
So sir, for polity, as we know that polity is something which is very high yielding, something, as you said, it's quite predictable also. And last year only, if we look, there were almost, I believe, 14 questions directly coming up from polity, and all questions were manageable. So now in polity also, there are two aspects which can come up. So year before last, questions on conceptual clarity on polity were coming up. For instance, questions like what is constitutionalism, what is constitutional morality, things like that, these used to come up. Last year, we have seen direct questions coming up from the Bayer's book. So this means that student needs to prepare themselves for both two kinds of ideas, conceptual as well as something which is very clear and direct. Second, for polity, again, it's very predictable reason, because in polity, what kind of questions are going to come? Something which has become very much into news. So what was one of the most important idea which came up for last few months, I should say, that was aspects of federalism. So take forward all aspects of federalism, center-state relations, that will involve all articles concerning the legislative relations, the administrative relations, the financial relations. It's not only the articles, student also needs to take forward institutions which are core to the federal order. For instance, create a small idea regarding Niti Aayog, GST Council, take forward Finance Commission, take forward the new terms of references of Finance Commission. So these could be few of the ways in which you can keep extending your ideas. Apart from federalism, since recently there had been an issue regarding the reservation of bills, and that power which governor has, and that has also created center-state conflict. So take forward governor's power very seriously. When governor power comes up, take forward president power also very importantly. So these could be some very, very important predictable zones in which questions are definitely going to come up. Apart from that, sir, Since polity, what is polity? Polity is a relationship between state and citizen, that we all know. So what are the aspects which are there catering state and citizen relationship? One is fundamental right. This is the reason fundamental right is always a very, very pertinent issue which we can always take forward. Another idea would be DPSP. So DPSP could also be a very nice idea. Fundamental duty, because they are taking forward political obligation idea. So these, of course, apart from federalism, I believe could be a very, we can say these are continuously some important zones in which questions are always being asked.
That's very comprehensive, ma'am. So, ma'am, I would also like to know from you some of the potential areas from international relations.
So now again, sir, international relations again could be divided into two categories. One, of course, could be the static portions, and again another could be the dynamic portion. Also, international relations, which is very much part of current affairs, involves whole lot of mapping. Location-based questions are very often being asked. So now, how students should approach? If you take forward the main syllabus, that is, I believe, an answer for what you need to prepare for prelims as far as IR is concerned, because in prelims, the syllabus is mainly indicative. So take forward, first of all, India's foreign policy. Abhi foreign policy mein what is the most important foreign policy? So neighborhood first policy, that is involving India and neighborhood. Take forward the static ideas of neighborhood first policy, when it came into existence, how many countries it is catering to. Next would be India and extended neighborhood. So take forward Act East policy, because very recently we had the ADMM plus meeting also. So Act East policy becomes very important. Look East policy, one statement can come on Look East policy, another statement can come up on Act East policy. What is the difference we need to figure out? When we look into the IOR region, then of course the Mahasagar initiative, which has recently been taken up, that becomes important. Abhi jab Mahasagar pad rahe ho, to of course Sagar initiative becomes important, because this is just revamping of our Sagar initiative. Take forward extended neighborhood, West Asia of course becomes very important. Look West policy no doubt is important, but that's more important for your prelims. Here in West Asia, with what we need to figure out, now here countries become important. Which country recently our Prime Minister has gone to? So Saudi Arabia becomes important, Qatar becomes important, countries like Yemen becomes important, especially when these are following somewhere in between the two important choke points also. Red Sea deniability is still a very important issue. Recently, again, like 2-3 days before only, Houthis rebels again has started creating issues. So Red Sea again becomes important. My point is that when you are taking forward foreign policy also, try to figure out and take forward locations, because that makes your idea comprehensive also, and mapping also side by side you are able to take forward. So these are few of the ways in which you can amalgamate your static as well as some dynamic portion. Apart from that, summits are very important. IORA is very important, like Secretary General. The Indian diplomat has become recently the Secretary General of IORA, so that makes IORA very important. AUKUS is again important. Quad key, recently we had the meeting, so Quad becomes important. So this is the way we need to take forward what are the most recent multilateral, plurilateral organizations or summits which has taken up. BIMSTEC becomes very important. Recently we had the 6th BIMSTEC summit at Thailand. So in this way we can take forward, and very intelligently. For IR also, I say we can predict what kind of questions can come up. All kind of military engagement becomes important. Last year only we had questions coming up directly on military exercises India is having with its neighborhood. This year also, this is a very, very high yielding aspect. So this is the way we can figure out important issues in IR also.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, what's your final message to the aspirants?
Okay, so my final message to the aspirant is that on the D-Day, I would recommend my students that enter the room with a lion confidence, because now on 25th May, it is your confidence which is going to take you forward. First. Second, don't get anxious and don't get into that amount of peer pressure. So students need to understand that anxiety is part and parcel of this examination. Don't forget you are going and fighting for one of the toughest examination in India. So of course anxiety would be there. And you see, यहीं पर एक कुछ पंक्तियां मुझे याद आती हैं कि युद्ध ही तो वीर का प्रमाण है, जो लड़ सका वही तो महान है. So this means the very fact that you are fighting for this very, very competitive examination, this itself shows that you are a warrior in yourself. So don't underestimate yourself. Third important suggestion during that day, that is on 25th of May, take forward a dehyphenated approach between paper 1 and paper 2. That is, your performance in paper 1 should definitely not affect your performance in paper 2. Also, I would say, fourthly, that when you are solving paper 1, then take each question as it is coming. So just like in cricket, every ball is a new ball. So in paper 1 also, if you are not able to take forward one question, it's absolutely fine. Switch yourself to the second question, the next question. Also in paper 2, CSAT, I would always recommend students, don't take forward that ego question. That since I come up from maths background, then definitely I have to solve all quant questions, and if I'm not able to solve something bad I'm doing too. No, that is not at all a ego satisfaction question. It's only and only a matter of qualifying marks. You take forward the qualifying marks and then carry forward paper 2. Also, last but not the least, I should always take forward, don't be result oriented every time, because that is piling up your anxiety every time when you are appearing also and all throughout your preparation also. So you keep working hard, leave the rest to God, and I'm so sure everything will be fine because you have worked definitely hard. And in this regard, मैथिली शरण गुप्त की कुछ पंक्तियाँ मुझे याद आ रही हैं कि नर हो न निराश करो मन को, नर हो न निराश करो मन को, कुछ काम करो, जग में अपना कुछ नाम करो, नर हो न निराश करो मन को. So with this note, I am signing off. Which a huge congratulations also that you have taken forward this journey, and this is going to be your D-Day. Whole lot of wishes from our side, VisionIAS and all faculties and myself. Thank you so much, dear student. All the very best, student, from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights.
Thank you so much, sir.
Dear student, with this, we end our discussion. Thank you so much and all the best.